Ready to dominate your industry with strategy that actually scales? At Coleman Public Relations and Consulting Firm, we're not just PR experts, we're licensed sports agents certified in AI and elite business consultants with over 2 decades of experience leading global projects across multiple countries. Visit cprfirm.com, that's colemanprfirm.com, and millionairex.ai. Then download the Millionaire X app, your AI-powered guide to getting out of debt, investing smarter, and building generational wealth. Coleman Public Relations and Consulting Firm. It's a family business. It's different.
Finding the right real estate professional can be challenging. I'm broker Melissa Wilson. I'm knowledgeable in all aspects of the real estate process. So whether you're looking to buy new or an existing home or have a commercial need, I'm here to help.
Let's stop acting like we don't see how this game is played. If you tired of folks throwing shade with a smile and keeping you boxed in with that slick behind-the-scenes racism, it's time to upgrade your survival skills. See, Phillip Scott dropped more than just knowledge. He handed you a playbook with passive-aggressive racism in the system of white supremacy. This ain't the in-your-face kind. This is that sneaky, office space, let me block your blessings type of racism that'll have you questioning your own reality. It's time to call it what it is and arm yourself with the facts. But baby, don't stop at just peeping the system. Break those mental chains too. That's why you need 7 steps to decolonize the mind. This is about freeing yourself up top, walking in confidence, and letting the world know your mind is not for rent, lease, or layaway. It's time to reclaim your power step by step. So don't just watch, take action. Click over to Amazon.com, type in passive-aggressive racism in the system of white supremacy and 7 steps to decolonize the mind, and secure both books for yourself, your crew, and anybody ready for that mental liberation. La Sherika said it, now go do it. Invest in your freedom. Pick up both books today on Amazon.com. Trust me, your mind will thank you.
After 13 years of exposing lies in the media, I discovered the biggest lie of all. They want you to think racism is random, accidental, just bad people doing bad things. But what if I told you anti-black racism was engineered, programmed like software, marketed like a product, and designed to survive across generations? That's exactly what I prove in my new book, Us versus the Machine, How Anti-Black Racism Was Programmed, Marketed, and Made to Survive. This isn't another book about what racism looks like. This is the blueprint of how it was built, who profits from it, and most importantly, how to dismantle it. I spent years connecting dots that they never wanted connected, following money trails that they thought were buried, exposing the machine that runs on our oppression. Knowledge is power, but strategic knowledge is liberation. Get Us versus the Machine on Amazon today, because once you understand the system, you can beat the system.
Hey, baby, if you're tired of watered down news that don't speak to us, then it's time you download the African Diaspora News Channel app. You can get it right now on Google Play and the Apple App Store. Stay informed, stay empowered, and support media that speaks truth from our perspective. Now, here's Brother Phil with today's message.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for joining us on the stream tonight. We greatly appreciate it. Make sure you click the subscribe button. Make sure you click the like button. That's also very important. So we're trying something a little different tonight. We got 2 simultaneous streams, at least on YouTube. They got some feature where you can have it on the shorts feed and on the regular feed. So we're going to go on and try this tonight, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to... I was just kind of going through the night trying to see what else is going on. And I don't know why this topic is still going on. I don't know, but it is. So you know how it is with us here. If it's a relevant topic, we'll talk about it. So tonight we have another Somali person, a Somali woman in particular, talking about how assimilation. And, it's not just her, but it's been an issue with a lot of immigrants to this country that they don't want to assimilate. And I think it's quite interesting and quite strange at the same time how I want to talk about maybe a source of where that's coming from, why they don't want to assimilate, even though they've been living in this country 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. Some of them got citizenship, and they still do not want to assimilate into America, right? So we're going to get into that conversation tonight. And a lot of them going to learn the hard way, unfortunately. They're going to learn. And it goes back to also when they got here, a lot of them, we want to talk about the black ones, of course. When they got here, how they didn't want to have any kind of unification or anything with Black America. So we're going to talk about that tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I see y'all coming on in. I've been on subscriber mode. I'm going to go to members only mode. That's going to happen. Members only is going to happen next month, so get ready for it. Members only is definitely coming back, and it's going to be there to probably about November the 10th. Because we're not going to deal with the troll farming. The troll farming is going to be here. So if you want to make sure to be always talking, hey, just join our memberships right here on YouTube. You can get the most inexpensive one. That's fine. But join us here. You can always, don't worry about anything else going on. Because you know what? The troll's not that dedicated. I tell you that much. The trolls do not want to pay the troll. Now, if they pay the troll, I'm cool with them. They can say what they want to say at that point. But no. The people that want to support us, hey, it is what it is. All right. Cool. Let's go ahead and get started. I know your time is precious. And let me check something on my screen here because this is a little different. I'm checking out this simultaneous stream. I never did this before. This is something new. So let's go on and play with this woman has to say here. And then let's really get into it. Then we got one of our brothers that's gonna follow up behind. But let's go. Hold on, let me get something on my trusty phone here, my notes. I need to point something out to myself. Come on, where did it go? Don't run from me now. Hold on. Where is it? There we go. All right. Cool. All right. So let's go ahead and play with this woman has to say, and then let's go further into it.
So I heard this word a lot. They don't assimilate. What kind of beautiful culture you have that I should assimilate? The culture that leave their parents in the nursing home, neglect emotionally, physically, and financially. This woman had you in her tummy for 9 months, raised you without question. This man put a food in your table and you put them in nursing home because you no longer need them. So you're gonna ship them to nursing home, or you're gonna leave the house that you grew up in. And when they call you and they wanna hear from you, you will get agitated and say, what do you need? Why are you calling? Is that culture where you want me to assimilate? No, thank you. I have a Quran who guides me to teach me how to take care of my parents, neighbors, and loved ones. This culture is a broken system.
Okay, all right. So you heard what she said. Now let's start it one more time, because we want to take time to what the woman has to say. Let's go ahead on and start it again, as we always do. Let's go.
So I heard this word a lot. They don't assimilate. What kind of beautiful culture you have that I should assimilate?
Let's stop right there. She started off asking a question, which is a legitimate question, okay, about assimilation. But then she took it to a superiority mindset. And that really a lot of times is the issue, is you have a superiority mindset, especially when you talk about us as Black Americans, right? You have the superiority mindset that you feel your culture is superior to everybody else here in America. And so a lot of people tell you is this: if your culture is so superior, why did you have to leave your homeland? If your culture is so superior and you're so hardworking, why aren't you in your homeland? When I go to other countries, I don't dare go in their country feeling like my culture is better than them. I respect every country, every culture that I've ever encountered, because you're supposed to. I was raised that you have respect for people. I come from the southern part of the United States, raised by Black American culture, right? And we are taught to speak to people, to respect people, and all of that. No matter where you go in the world or right here in the United States of America, don't matter. Have some manners. See, that's been y'all problem. It's not just them. It's all of them that come over here with that attitude. They feel that they're better than us here in America. And I'm trying to figure that out. Why do you think you better? Why do you think your culture is better? I'm still trying to figure that part out. I can't get the mindset that why do you think that y'all are better? Why? And that just baffles me. But let me go ahead and continue.
The culture that leave their parents in the nursing home, neglect emotionally, physically, and financially. This woman had you in her tummy for 9 months, raised you without question. This man put a food in your table and you put them in nursing home because you no longer need them. So you're gonna ship them to nursing home, or you're gonna leave the house that you grew up in. And when they call you and they wanna hear from you, you will get agitated and say, what do you need? Why are you calling? Is that culture where you want me to assimilate?
Now, ma'am, you're talking about white people. You're not talking about black Americans. But see, if you actually assimilated into this country and actually learned the country and learned the people, you wouldn't be making a blanket statement and saying that's American culture. That is not American culture. Black Americans, I'm telling you from what I know, I used to do, a long time ago when I was in church, do the hospital ministry and places like that. And when you would go to these places, even nursing homes, the majority of people who dominated in nursing homes were white people. You may have 1 or 2 black people there, but I've never been a place where it's just dominated full of black people. It's white people. So if you actually assimilated and got to know black people when you got here, you wouldn't be saying no stupid crap like that. And then that's when you become offensive, right? Is your attitude and your tone. Now, the simple definition of assimilate is to take in information, ideas, or culture and understand fully. Meaning, when you get here, the right thing for y'all to do, especially the black ones, is to let me get with Black America. Hey, Black America. Hey, I'm from this country. I'm from that country. I just got here. Hey, can you teach me what's the deal with the country? Like what I need to do, what I need to stay away from, where not to go. Hey, how is it with jobs? What holidays y'all celebrate? What kind of food y'all eat? Hey, put me on game. And basically, assimilation is be willing to be put on game if you want to make it simple. And then so you get with a Black American. They put you on game. You may even befriend some Black Americans so you can learn. That's the best way for you to learn the culture is just befriend some Black Americans. Nobody has ever said throw away your culture when you get here. Nobody has ever said that. Keep your culture, keep your traditions, but learn the country that you're in. So you don't say nothing offensive. So you don't do nothing offensive. You know what I'm saying? All the things that they're going through right now, if you would have the quote unquote definition of assimilate, basically talking to Black Americans and unifying with Black Americans, you would not be in this problem right now that you have with Trump. You would have not got over here and thinking that you could side with white conservatives on anything. Because Black Americans would have told you, well, the reason why we don't fully side with them is because they embrace open racism. Listen, all of them are racist. We get it. But, sometimes you got to pick your battles. That's what Black people tell you. And sometimes we may vote with the Democrats, because we picking our battle with that situation. But these kind of Republicans that's running now, they too openly racist. They really doing so. It wouldn't be wise to vote with them like that because they're never going to see it your way. They're going to look at you. You say, well, I'm Somali. You are. I get it. But in this country, you're Black. You are Somali. But in this country, they're going to label you as Black and treat you as such. That's how these people think. They don't care about your religion. They don't care about your color. They don't care. We got Muslims in our community. They don't care about any of that. See, you would have got that game and understood. See, if all Black immigrants had assimilated and followed the lead of Black America, they would have the covering of Black America. You understand? You would have had a covering. You would have had a backup. You know, what is it? They say maybe possibly up to 300,000 Somalis in this country. That's not enough for you to take on white supremacy. It's not enough. So, I mean, the smart thing to do is say, let me get with Black America and let me befriend them and work with them. And hey, they are friends and maybe family, right? Whatever. And work with it that way. Not, I'm going to not assimilate, but let me tell you some assimilation that you do get into. A lot of you get into assimilating into white supremacy, though. You get into that. Can we talk about that for a minute, ladies and gentlemen? Can we talk about that assimilation into white supremacy? When you are repeating, you just got here, right? You come from wherever country you come from, the African continent, Caribbean, Latin America. I'm only talking to the black ones. I ain't talking about to no other group. This channel is called African Diaspora News Channel. So I'm only talking to people who are black in this country and globally, right? Or African, Caribbean, whatever names you want to call yourself. I'm making it simple. When you come here, you wasn't even raised around these people like that. You just get here to this country, thick accent and all. And then when we see a guy like Frank Zanu, that guy, talking about Black Americans have no culture, Black Americans are lazy, wait. You just got here, okay? We hear your accent, bruh. Why are you so hostile toward Black Americans? Where does that come from? We didn't colonize you. We didn't enslave you. We didn't steal your resources. We haven't put a Black American military base anywhere. We haven't done nothing to you women or children. Why are you so hostile? So you assimilate into white supremacy by saying, oh, Black Americans are lazy. Now, that only comes from one group. Listen, when you talk that way, we know where that comes from. We know. That didn't come originally from you. So you had no problem assimilating into white supremacy. And this is why a lot of you are shocked at the reaction of a lot of Black Americans towards you, is because you cannot repeat the words of white supremacy and thinking that we're going to join with you later by you saying, look, they're attacking me. I'm black. See? No, it don't work that way. The way Black America works, if you're over there with them folks, you stay over there with them. You can't come back over here because you have proven, you sold out. When you assimilate into white supremacy by spewing their talking points, we even do that to other Black Americans. So it's not like we singling you out. Other Black Americans can't even come back around. If they made a life and a career of spewing white supremacist talking points about Black America, even if they are a Black American, they cannot come around here and say, brother, sister, help me. I'm being attacked. Like, nah, you good. Because we've seen that too many times in our own community. Them folks aren't loyal to nobody. They're only loyal to themselves. They don't like you. They don't like me. It don't matter what group you are. If you aren't European, if you aren't them, they don't like you. They'll smile in your face. They'll play a game on you and thinking that, oh, yeah, you're so much better than those Black Americans. Oh, you're better than those blacks. You listen, you whatever you say, they're going to repeat to you. They're going to tell you you're better. Oh, you're so much educated. Oh, listen, you act so much better because your religion. And all those Black Americans are this. And they just keep gassing your head up. And then you already had a superiority mentality before you got here, right? And so that even makes it worse. So you're thinking that the white folks is your friends. They're your friends. And they're going to side with you. And then the Trump administration get in. And then you're shocked about the way he's talking about you. He don't want you here. He wants you gone. And a lot of you did vote for him. You did. You voted for him. Even though people told you, hey, bruh, he don't really like Muslims like that. Didn't he have a Muslim ban? Like, why would you vote for a dude that had a Muslim ban? If I'm a Muslim, ain't no way I'm going to vote for anybody that has a Muslim ban. I'm just saying some of the moves that some of y'all make don't even make logical sense. It don't make sense. If you got a political candidate that wants to harm Black Americans, Do y'all really think that we will sit up here and go vote for any political candidate that wants to harm Black Americans and openly saying that's what they want to do? We will not do that. We won't say, oh, he ain't talking about me. He's talking about them. And we understand that they see us all the same. Well, you remember that video we talked about earlier this week with the white woman in Wisconsin? Those two were Somali. What did she say to them? She called them the N-word. She didn't call them any other special word. She called them that because that's what they look at you as. Period. But you found out the hard way that othering yourself is a problem. And once again, if you feel that your culture is so much more superior and your culture is so much better, then let's just have that conversation. Why is your culture better? Why do you feel your culture is superior to anybody else's culture? It don't matter who it is. Why do you feel you are superior? I'm trying to understand that mindset. Why do you think you are superior? What? Because you practice Islam? Is that why you're superior? Well, I'm going to tell y'all this in particular about that group. Now, of course, I can't say all, but some of them really, you know the issue with featureism, that's a real thing. Just like colorism is a real thing. And featureism, some of them feel that, well, because the Jareer thing is about hair, right? It's about hair. So they feel, because I look like I got a Jerry curl, that's how them folks look at you. They look at you as an N-word with just a Jerry curl. That's what they look at you as. That's it. Something popped in my mind to say, but I'm not going to say it. I have to be professional on here. But only thing I'm going to say is they don't look at you no different than that. I'll never forget that dude. I'm going to still talk about that clip. Ileana Calderon. She's a Black Cuban journalist with, I think, was it Univision? And she went to this Klansman's property and she interviewed him. And I'll never forget that part of that interview where she said, yeah, I'm probably the first immigrant, Black person on your property. And you say, oh, I thought you was Cuban. You say, no, well, I'm an immigrant. I'm a Black immigrant and I'm Cuban. You say, oh, well, I don't know what you are. Well, to me, he said, you're N-word and that's it. And then, and I'm like, and I sat there and I like, and they think they different. They really think they different. And that Klansman told her right to her face, you ain't no different than them Black Americans to me. I don't care how much Spanish you speak. You are what I'm telling you are to your face. You're not different, bro. But I noticed something. You ever heard that statement? You're gonna learn. Just like sometimes you tell your kids, you're gonna learn. Sometimes you're gonna learn the hard way. And when you learn the hard way, you will come back and say, oh, you tried to tell us. And after they didn't see. One thing about them folks, they very cowardice. So if they see you don't have no backup and they see, wait a minute, Black Americans not going to help them? Oh, man, we going to pounce on them now. I just heard of a story that a Somali woman got gaffled up by ICE. She was a U.S. citizen, too. Gaffled up by ICE, and they held her 24 hours. And she was a U.S. citizen. Now, if you broke bread with Black America, that wouldn't have happened. Why? I could have like, okay, we do that, then Black Americans going to be on our bumper about that. Notice even the bootlick organization's not even coming out for them. Have you noticed that? That's bad if the bootlick organizations, the Urban League is not saying nothing about y'all. The NAACP, and they all about immigrants, and they ain't not even saying nothing about y'all. Have y'all thought about that for a minute? Like, have y'all been that bad where the Urban League won't even say a word about you, the NAACP? Have y'all been that bad on the streets? They have been quiet about y'all. Then your girl Ilhan Omar, I guess she's the only person trying to defend y'all, but her past is very checkered. Everybody's questioning how her net worth shot up that quick. Where all that money come from? People got questions. I mean, come on, anybody would ask that question. If you go from making only a couple of $100,000 a year to millions, being worth over $30 million in a couple of years, people got questions. But it's just not. But to be fair, it's just not her. It's just about all of them in Congress. It's not just her. It's just she's only being spotlight right now. Because how is it? Nobody I know got a job making over six figures, and all of a sudden they worth millions of dollars in a few years. That's not even, like, how does that even happen? That's pure corruption. But this one brother, and boy, I thank God for editing. Because this one brother, boy, every other word he was saying something, so I had to clean it up. Our brother pointed something out. And I'm going to get back talking about these legacy civil rights organizations not coming up for y'all. But let's go ahead and play what our brother has to say, because it's going to make so much sense.
Well. Look like you Somalis up there in Minneapolis finding out the hard way, ain't you? Brought y'all over here, got their citizenship, start consuming that white people up there was feeding to y'all, and then immediately attach yourself to that white Christian conservativeness, huh? You really thought y'all was a part of the gang, huh? You really thought Donald Trump was going to help you, huh? Now look at y'all. He dragging you through the mother dirt, telling you that y'all garbage people and he don't want y'all in this country and y'all country is garbage and trash and all this mother. But y'all really sat up there and voted for this. He don't want you. He don't want your people. He didn't want the policies. All them wanted was your vote so he can continue to pass policies to oppress. It's kind of up that y'all finding out the hard way that you ain't nothing but just another from another country. That's all you are to them. But yeah, y'all gonna continue to play good old boy and yes sir master to this because y'all want to feel like y'all a part of the gang. Y'all still trying to attach yourself to that whiteness that don't want your fucking ass. But you know what? I don't feel bad for you. I don't feel bad for you at all because this is what you voted for.
But y'all black Americans are coming for us. No, ma'am, and no, sir. We're not coming for you. Listen, I'm going to tell you, on this microphone, I'm going to be the biggest person to say, we told you. I'm not going to say, well, I don't want to say that. I believe in saying it because sometimes you need to hear it loud. Now, somebody made a good point just now. Even the ACLU aren't coming out for you. Have y'all noticed that too? Nobody's messing with y'all. Why? What did y'all say to these people? See, when you close yourself off from everybody, I don't want to deal with y'all. I want to deal with my people, my culture. America's a country that you're a guest in. Now, let me get back to assimilation. Every country I've ever went to, and I'm going to name them off. When I went to Ethiopia, the first time I went to Ethiopia, I'd never been in the African continent. That was my first time in 2018. I say, well, how you say hello, in y'all language? They told me salam. So I remember that, right? So I would say salam to people, and they'll smile. Oh, okay. And then they'll be responding back to me or whatever. When I went back this year, April, when I see them, I say salam and all that, and they be happy about that. Now, why is it I say that to them? Remember we said assimilation is, taking in information, which is language, is part of it. No, I can't fully speak the language or nothing. I would have to kind of live there to learn it, but I would try to learn something, at least to be conversational with them, right? But I go there, I want to learn the language. I want to eat the food. I want to see how the food is, right? I want to learn the customs, whatever you got. So in one, I don't be offensive. I'm not coming in as an arrogant American, right? So whether it's Ethiopia, Kenya, you want to learn some Swahili, saying Jambo and all of that stuff. Everybody know Hakuna Matata and all that stuff. And, everybody know Asante Sana and all that. Well, you try to learn some Swahili when you're there, at least some greetings, right? Some greetings or something. So you say, hey, I want to learn, your culture a little bit. You go to South Africa, you're over there with the Zulus, and all that, say Yebo and all that. So you're trying to learn a little bit while you're there, okay? Learn something. That's make people feel like, okay, you want to be included in the culture. You want to learn. They can learn from our culture. But but every time I see black Americans, we do not go to nobody's country and feel like, oh, well, our culture is better than you, and I don't want to fool with you like that. Well, why are you there if you can't fool with nobody? If you're so high and mighty and better, take yourself back to America. That's what anybody would say. So we say the same thing. If you think your culture is so much better and we so lowly and peasant, why are you here? You want to siphon the resources. You want to take. You're shipping all, because like they say, you go to Walmart and all them places, you're shipping out all the money you make here in America out of the American economy. It's constant money going out. You don't circulate that money inside the American economy. So when you say you're working hard and all that, like, you're not benefiting us. You're sending money back to your homeland. Then when those of you have the scams, like that one dude last night we covered out of Nigeria, right? Hold on. They say down here, Oliveri say they're arrogant and clueless, thinking the Constitution and U.S. laws will save them. They have no idea how easily folks change laws and violate treaties. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So you send money out, then, you know, if you scamming, like the dude last night, he had 80 properties. 80 properties. That's how much scams he was doing. And that's why Trump recently put in some tax on those remittance, because they were noticing how much remittance go out of this country constantly. They say, listen, the GDP of Mexico is affected by remittance. They send so much money back to Mexico, to the people down there. I think they say it affects their GDP by 40%. And GDP means gross domestic product. That's how much money is coming from the United States. But every country you go to, I went to Turkey, right? And, you know, hey, let me try the Turkish food. Hey, what's y'all customs in Turkey or whatever? You know, I remember I did a food tour the first time I went to Turkey. It was a great thing. You know, I enjoyed doing a food tour. It's all day we was eating, but the way it worked, we was still hungry at the end, because you eat a little bit of food, you move around. Eat a little bit of food, you move around. It was cool. Like, I want to learn every country I go to. That's called assimilation into a culture. I'm like, I don't want to be here. But what y'all do is you move to a foreign country like America, just only want to be in an area full of people that look like you, and you want to stay in that bubble. And you don't want to learn anything. You don't want to be a part of anything. Now, maybe the younger ones who were born here maybe learn a little more for sure. They will, because they're born here. But you don't learn anything by just staying in a bubble. Listen, I love Black America, but I have to go all over the world. I have to engage different cultures of people. Why? So I can learn. You don't learn nothing by only being in a bubble. You don't. Now, I know it's comfort in being within your particular culture. I know it's comfort in that. But you know what? You can go around other cultures and learn something different, and they may, hey, man, I like this culture. It's cool. But you're not better. And for sure, I wouldn't go to no country. It'd be like me going to South Africa and I start siding with the white people. And I go to South Africa and be like, yeah, you know, the country was better when the white people ran it and all. And then I just start being this big proponent as an immigrant into South Africa for the white people running South Africa. How would that look? How would that look? That wouldn't even look right and sound right. And I repeat all the commentary white people say about Black South Africans, and I go over there as an immigrant saying that about them. Like, you think that's so asinine. Most people say that. I wouldn't dare do something like that. Most Black Americans wouldn't even dare. Listen, we felt that way, we wouldn't even want to go over there. But that's what some of you do. You immigrate here, you get in our Congress, and then you get in our Congress, and you're only fighting for your ethnic group. You ain't fighting for the whole. You wouldn't even have a congressional seat. It would be for Black Americans. You wouldn't have it. But then you get in these seats, and then you only want to fight and advocate for your ethnic group. You say you came from Trinidad and stayed for 1 week. Hey, look, I don't mind visiting any other country. I want to break bread with you. That's that Southern hospitality I grew up with. I grew up with Southern hospitality. We treat everybody good, unless you do something that you ain't no business and rub us the wrong way. But we treat everybody good. That's that Southern. Listen, most Black Americans, definitely from the South, have that Southern hospitality. Even those in the Midwest, they have it too. You know, I mean, some of my brothers and sisters in New York, you know, it may not call it Southern hospitality, but they definitely hospitable. That's for sure. You know, New York's a little bit more rough around the edges, but hey, I love my brothers and sisters in New York. You know, and even the immigrants I met in New York have been cool. I haven't had no problem with them. You know, I meet people on the street. They stop me or whatever. You know, that's always, I always still think that's strange when somebody actually stop me on the street and talk to me and like, hey, Phil, man, I know you was out here. You know, I always think that's an interesting thing because I don't look at myself in no special manner. I'm not. I'm just a regular dude out here just trying to do my part, right? That's it. I'm just regular degular. I think y'all more of a superstar out here in the world. Y'all making it happen for the community. But y'all got to check yourself with that. You got to check yourself with that attitude. That's not gonna fly too well, especially with the delineation movement. It's really not gonna fly too well. So it's better for me to tell you, because some people are gonna tell you in a very nasty way. I'm trying to tell you in a way to help educate you. And so to say, start assimilating, at least at minimum, get with Black Americans. Now, some Black Americans that may not fool with you, and that's fine, but not all of them gonna do that. So get with some Black Americans that you say, hey, I want to learn. I want to get taught. Hey, I want to learn about the politics. Why do y'all vote that way y'all vote? Why do y'all say this? What happened? You know, y'all heard about Martin Luther King and all that. I know about George Floyd, but what's really the deal with all this stuff going on? Because obviously we need to learn. And I know some people in the chat may say one thing, but Black folks, if you come correct, and if you actually come with, and we see you actually apologetic on some things, and we see it's genuine, we can put you on game at that point. But you're not going to just show up out the blue and say, help me. And like, no, we're not doing it because you didn't come correct. That's just how we are on a good day. Black people are very forgiving. They are. But you got to come correct to even get that forgiveness out of them. That I can tell you. Oh, yeah, that part is true. You can't just like, oh, well, I'm Black. I mean, shoot, man, put me on. No, sir. No, sir. Now, let's get to that other conversation. I saw people talking about that. If you got the game from Black Americans, even with this I'm not Black, I'm Somali thing, let's talk about that again. If you got the game, Black Americans would have told you this. Listen. With these people, they are obsessed with race, okay? Everything with these people are race. It's race this, race that. They claim other people are obsessed with race and race baiting, but they created the system of race, okay? That's their culture. They believe in race and color. That's the only thing that they have that they can say they're different than all the other, people on the earth that have some sort of melanin to them, is they are melanin deficient, okay? So they obsessed with that. Now, since race is a classification in the United States of America and you want to live here, yes, you are not a Black American. You are not a descendant of chattel slaves in this country. You are not. We clearly see that and know that. But in this country, you're going to be labeled as Black. But ethnically, you are Somali. So you could tell people you are Somali, but when people say something about something for Black people, then you say, okay, yes, I identify definitely racially as Black. My ethnicity is Somali. I'm from Somalia. I have my Somali customs, all of that. But yes, I'm definitely racially Black. And if you would have said, learn that alone, Black Americans wouldn't have a problem with you. Wouldn't have a problem. We're not telling you to come to some of the Black American cookouts. We're not telling you to do a big thing for Black History Month or nothing. I mean, if you want to, that's cool. But you have to when you say, I ain't Black, I'm Somali, that says something else, because every time y'all have done that, not just Somali, but you heard Nigerians do it and others, you say that with an attitude that othering yourself to virtue signal to white supremacy, that I'm not like them. See, I'm not like them. See, I'm not even calling myself Black. I'm this. You get what I'm saying? So I'm better than them. And see, I got a degree, and see, I work hard. I go to school and I do this. See, white people, see how much I'm better? And that's where that comes from. It's not that Black America is begging y'all to identify as Black. That's not what it's about. Technically, we are racially Black and our ethnicity is Black. So it's intertwined. I know that gets people confused to say that, but it's true. Black American culture is what we are. We don't expect Somalis and Jamaicans and Cubans and Black Cubans, anybody to say you're Black American. No. But racially in this country, you're going to be considered black, whether you like it or not. Like that white woman told them Somalis. She let them know real quick. Yeah, I see you Somali, but I'm telling you to your face what we look at you as. Nobody's forcing you to take on black culture. Keep your Somali culture. Keep it, practice it, no problem. But when you othering yourself, and some of you still try to explain it. I seen a podcast last night when a woman was trying to explain it about why you don't say you're black. Then some of them, the one on the podcast, like, well, I'm Somali, but no, I understand I'm black. So now you have them having that conversation. I think that's a good thing that if they finally having that conversation. It took Trump and them coming after them to start having that conversation about identity. But your numbers are too small to actually thinking you're going to fight with these people. You know what? Miriam. 100% Miriam. That it should be a prerequisite to learn black culture, especially if you are a immigrant from the African continent, the Caribbean, and a black person from Latin America. Yes, it should be a prerequisite that you come. But see, all you got to do is get underneath some black Americans, though. That's all you got to do. Get underneath some black Americans. We will teach you the game. We'll teach it to you. You don't really have to go to a class. Just befriend some black Americans. That's it. That's it. But see, what the problem with that is, in their homeland, in the continent of Africa, they don't befriend people on the next country over. Look at Kenya. Kenya, they in Nairobi, they in Eastleigh. They all over there, right? They don't be out there interacting and all that with the Kenyans like that. They do the same thing over in Kenya. And then the Kenyans got issues with them too, because in 2012, 2013, they had a Somali terror group did an attack on the Westgate Mall. Now, Kenya let them come over there as refugees from that Somali war, and then you're going to return the favor to Kenyans by doing a terror attack on the Westgate Mall. That's why Kenya security is the way it is in certain places. It's because of what those Somali terrorists done. And I know it's been a while, definitely over a decade, but still, Kenyans never forgot that. And then I see the same attitudes with some of them over there. And then you got Kenyans who are like, hey, bro, like you need to chill your nerves, or you need to carry your happy self back across that border and go back to Mogadishu you come from. Like, nobody got to put up with your attitude, bro. That's Kenyans' country. That's their homeland. They were nice enough to let you come over there. And then you going to have an attitude? Talking about saying, we taking over Eastleigh. Eastleigh is ours. Like, no. Eastleigh belongs to Kenya. It don't belong to you. Don't do that, bro. Don't do that. Like I don't get that mentality. But then you don't want to be in your homeland. That's the part I think that floors me. And y'all help me understand. Y'all give me some answers in the chat. You don't like America. A lot of immigrants don't like America. I'll be honest with you. A lot of immigrants do not like America. Some of them do, but a lot of them don't. You don't like America, but then when Donald Trump trying to give you a plane ticket back home, you don't want to go home. That's the part I don't understand. You want to suck all the resources out of America, but you really don't like America. You don't. And if America got into any issues and problems, they'd be on the first plane out of here. Think about it. Black America fought in every conflict and war for this country. They didn't. It was Crispus Attucks, our great brother, who popped off the Revolutionary War. Them folks didn't even do it. Them folks couldn't even get the British off their back without us. These other groups of people came later, after all the work was done. The Civil War. We fought in the Civil War. They didn't fight in no Civil War. They didn't die in this country, in the United States Civil War. You think about every innovation, conflict that Black Americans have had in this land. And then we got to put up with disrespect from people that came in the 90s or came in the 70s, 80s. We do not going to put up with that kind of disrespect. In a country that we built, we literally bled in, a country that we innovate, and a country that we still help keep going to this day. And yes, America has a lot of work. And Black America gonna make sure, we still haven't got our lot out of America as of yet. But as the years go along and each day go on, I'm seeing things getting brighter and brighter for Black America. It is. That's why Black America really need to. Now the attitude that Black America need to take from the Somalis and many of these immigrants is you need to have a takeover mentality too. This is our country, so you're not taking over anything. But what I'm saying is we have a lot of Black Americans in a lot of cities. And a lot of us are not registering to vote, and we're not strategically saying, hey, we're taking over city council, we're taking over the education board, mayor, we're going to be the sheriff, we're going to be the judges, we're going to be everything in this town. We're not letting nobody run nothing. We running this town. We running this city. Like I said before, we need to strategically move places. Think about it. You got 100,000 Somalis in that area in Minneapolis. If you take 100,000 Black Americans and move them to an area, that literally will change the demographics, and we'll start running the yard. And then we go there strategically. That's what Black Americans should be doing. We should be moving certain places, flipping demographics, and getting our people in there to make change for Black America. Because a lot of you say, okay, we built America, we love America, great. So what are you going to do for Black America? What are we going to do? Like even the participation aspect, this is my thing. And I've said it and I have no problem saying it. These Republicans right here, they didn't show they behind the meat. And that Epstein stuff, I think was the worst of the worst to me. When you have a group of people literally protecting a pedo and not wanting files to come out, and look, it went from the top all the way down in Congress. They all was protecting a man that's gone because they names are somewhere in those files. And when I saw that, I say, bro, y'all supposed to be the party of evangelical Christians? Nothing about Jesus would hide sin and unrighteousness. Nothing about Jesus would do that. So who would conceal that sort of stuff is somebody in league with Satan. And when you saw them blocking and making excuses and doing all this stuff about this Epstein situation, even Trump too, he was mad with Marjorie Taylor Greene. That's what got their beef going? Was the Epstein files. That's what made him go after her. He told her, hey, don't vote on that. You say, yeah, I'm voting on that. And that was his girl, Marjorie Taylor Greene. That was his homegirl. She was so nasty for him. And she said, no, the victim's got to be heard on that. That's not cool. I'm voting on that. And he went after her. So what I'm saying is, what did he say? A lot of people going to get hurt with them files coming out. And all these Republicans agreed with that mess? It ain't no way. It's no way, no how that you say, okay, that's what y'all on top of the other mess y'all doing? No. But this is good. This is good, though. This is actually a great thing. If they would have never gotten in power, you would have never saw how they really thought. So really, this is good. Because we say, well, see, that's why we didn't want them in there. No. You had speculation, but now you have confirmation. And confirmation is a lot better than speculation. So now since you see you can't trust their leadership, now you can say, all right, Black people, we're gonna have to move them around now. We're gonna have to. And it's not about politics, it's not about permanent friends or permanent enemies, it's about permanent interest. And our permanent interest is we don't want people that defended pedos. We can't do that, bro. We can't do that. Well, you say when you vote, you agree with they mess. Okay. Because I'm watching this situation in Texas too. You know, I see they all with the Jasmine Crockett thing. I see that too. Well, I told y'all what I'm not about in Texas is that situation. I'm still mad about that. How they gerrymandered all those districts, and they didn't get a say from Texas people. So yeah, we gotta see what's gonna happen. But yeah. I think that black folks need to show up and show out even locally. I think so, and we need to get a mindset of taking over in our cities. You got a lot of black people in Chicago. You got a lot of black people in Houston, Dallas, Atlanta. We need to, and if a black politician not doing right, we need to get them out. If your mayor not doing good, get him out, get her out. If the city council not doing good, get them out and get some good people in there. Because why look, think about it. One thing that white people do, and because I study this, white people do show up to make sure because listen, Republican and all of that, that's more so their cultural vote. That's their culture. They vote culturally, even in Texas. They'll vote culturally. That's why they're Republicans. They feel that's a cultural party for them. So for us as black people, we got to look at it and say what we're going to do all over the country strategically. And the one thing they fear is black mobilization and black participation. They fear that. That's the thing that keep them up at night is that. If we say we're going to vote for something, we make it a trend. Think about it. All the trends that we've made over the years. I don't know none of these politicians, not now one of them. And you come to me, I'm going to ask you the real questions. But I do see that we can't let people that would agree with pedos and people that's doing open racism. Like, I don't know if you heard about that. So the Justice Department is taking away a tool to basically measure systemic racism. So you know how the folks, what they do, they may not call you the N-word or any other slur, but what they'll do it in hiring, they'll do it with loans and all that. So the tool they would use with the Justice Department is say, let me see all your loans. Let me see how many loans you gave to black people, Asians, Hispanics, etc. Okay, so you apartments, you renting apartments. Let me see how many you did for everybody. And if they see it's nothing but all white, then they say, okay, now you're discriminating when we see it on paper. Well, the Justice Department took that tool away. And that tool was mostly put in after the Civil Rights Act to make sure that we had equal access to housing, equal access to bank loans and things like that. There was no reason to do that at all, but one reason, anti-black racism. So because you know these things, it's one thing to talk about it in the chat, but it's another thing to say, okay, all right, we need to go ahead and move these people around. I think they were talking about Jasmine Crockett. They were saying something about she didn't take APAC money from what I'm hearing. They talking about that now because it's a big thing with her now. It's a big thing with Jasmine Crockett. I want to look more into what she's talking about. Even though Jasmine Crockett does not say the things I like her to say personally, but these Republicans in Texas got to go. I don't like them. I'm over them. They got to go. Greg Abbott, all of them got to go. These people are so, man, they got some good things in the state of Texas, don't get me wrong, but these people are doing too much. And I've been saying they're doing too much. They're not even being okay, if you're a centrist Republican, maybe, but come on, y'all doing too much. What'd you say? No Somalis own part of Kenya, northeastern Kenya. Say, about Eastleigh? I know I'm correct by Eastleigh. Like, I'm not gonna open my mouth about things I don't know what I'm talking about in these different countries. That's why I told y'all, if you hear me talking, it's because either I'm talking to, and I got people in Kenya too I can call right now. Easily call them. Well, like I said, I got how many Kenyans work with us here? And I'm saying 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I got 3 Kenyans that work in our company, so I can easily call them and ask them about anything. Easily. I got South Africans that work in this company. I got, say Ethiopians. I got all kind of people in the company. Jamaicans. I got them. I got them. So I can get information from a lot of places. You say where you could find me on LinkedIn? What do you need to send me on LinkedIn? I mean, it's my name. I mean, I'm not hard to find on LinkedIn. I'm not fine. It's like you say Jasmine Crockett. You say she is not worth it. You know who's running against? Well, she's not even a main person. They haven't had a primary yet. But on the Republican side, you got John Cornyn and then Ken Paxton. Ken Paxton, okay, he's not a good guy at all. Wouldn't want Ken Paxton. I wouldn't want John Cornyn. I wouldn't want any of these people, personally. I don't know who the Democrat nominee going to be. Of course, she got the biggest name recognition. But if I had to choose, you say I have to choose, I can't sit nothing out, I have to choose, I would rather Jasmine Crockett over them at this point. I'm telling you how bad they are. Like, I'd rather her over them. If you say I had to choose and I couldn't sit nothing out, I had to. I'd take her over them at this point. All her flaws, I'd take her over them at this point. They that bad. These Republicans, man, everybody wanted lower property taxes. They screwed that up. Like, Texas got some of the highest property taxes in the country. We don't have a state tax, but we have the highest property taxes. They don't even make sense. These people don't know what they're doing. Trump is pro-illegal too. He's letting them come in and work the farms. He stopped deporting them. He's bringing in people with H-1B visas. He's bringing them in. Didn't Laura Ingraham just get into it with Trump about H-1B visas? That's bringing in immigrants to take jobs away from Americans. So Trump down with that too. Just certain kind he want in here. Talking about 300 Chinese gonna come in here too. So they all down with that mess. They all down with it. Trump too. Trump say he's against him. No, he's against at the time. But when them people say, "Hey man, you deporting all our workers," okay, we're gonna hold off on deporting the ones on the farms. Now you for mass deportation. Period. So he been because the farmers say something, or he wants all these H-1B people in here taking jobs away from Americans. He's for it. So anyway, y'all, but thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us on the stream tonight. Really appreciate it. Make sure you click the subscribe button. Make sure you click the like button. That's also very, very important. Thank you for listening, and make sure to return tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, or 7:15. It's somewhere around there. It depends on my schedule. But we'll